Assassin's Creed Origins seems to be doing well as far as sales go. And as far as continuing content for the game goes, the team working on it has confirmed that a new game plus is going to be happening. Now, as far as a new game plus goes, I've always wondered, and this has always been one of the most mind-boggling things that I don't understand why the video game industry doesn't do more of. Ever since I've played Chrono Trigger, which I don't know if it was the first game to do New Game Plus, but it was definitely the first game that I played to do New Game Plus. And what New Game Plus is, in case you don't know, you beat a game, you unlock New Game Plus, and then you start a new game with pretty much all of your levels, all of your items, weapons, armor, unless it's the only thing you don't have anymore are the key items which progress the story, because you don't want to just walk to the final boss. Although you can do that in Chrono Trigger, but that's to get different endings and all that stuff. I don't know. Oh, and apparently, I think Xenosaga. I always do that. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is also getting a new game plus as well. And for RPGs, this makes perfect sense. It would make sense to do one for Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
It doesn't.
Master Mode.
Master Mode, you start from scratch again.
But you can play it in Master Mode and then... Well, Master Mode's kind of like New Game Plus, except you don't start out with, like...
It's just a harder version of the game.
Which is basically a New Game Plus. You don't have the same weapons and armor.
It's not a New Game Plus.
It's
a different difficulty level.
Which is also kind of dumb, because it's like, what... Oh, they did kind of do that for Ocarina of Time. For the GameCube.
You're talking about the Master Quest?
Yeah.
But that's not a New Game Plus.
No, I know. I'm talking about the...
Yeah, the Master Mode,
right,
is what you're talking about. Yeah, it's just a higher difficulty where they change stuff up. Which I'm okay with that mode as well, but a New Game Plus, to me, as a developer, what extra programming would it take on your part? The only thing you would really have to watch out for are elements of the game that would just completely break it. You know, and that's the whole thing. That's how it worked in Chrono Trigger. Like, all of your key items were gone. Anything that progressed the story, or you had to get it as far as story goes, like even weapons, because I think you don't have I'm going to mispronounce this. Masamune? Masamune.
Wait.
You don't have that when you start the game, because it's a story necessary item.
Masamune.
So, yeah, you don't have that. And that's the only thing you'd really have to look out for. That being said, why doesn't pretty much every game have this mode? Any game that has character progression, whether that looks like leveling up, getting more health, getting more whatever. If you collect things and your character increases, Shadow of the Colossus has a New Game Plus. Like, every game should have a New Game Plus. Any reason you can think of that they shouldn't have a New Game Plus?
No, I'm just trying to think of games that do. I guess. Really, the only ones I can think of are...
I mean, the Souls games have them, right?
Right.
Dark Souls?
Yeah, but that'll go up to like +7 or +8.
But
that's the only one that I can really think of.
And the enemies get stronger too, right?
Yeah.
See, that's even better to me when that happens, because once you're playing through Chrono Trigger and it's your third New Game Plus, you're wiping everything out, and you kind of get to the point where it's like, I don't want to fight enemies anymore. This is boring.
The only downside to New Game Plus in like Dark Souls games is that like your stats, like upgrading them anymore, doesn't really affect anything because the weapons don't require any higher stat numbers. So you're basically just fighting harder, or like enemies that have more health. It's like you can still use everything, which I guess makes sense, but I don't know. I think a higher strength requirement would be okay. Because you don't. There's no reason to like get rid of any weapons that you get unless you have like multiple. And even then, like in like Dark Souls 2, I don't even. There's one guy you can sell stuff to in that entire game. Dark Souls 3, yeah, you can sell stuff right off the bat. But yeah, I think increasing those numbers would be fun. I guess
even action games like the Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Kingdom Hearts even would benefit greatly from a New Game Plus.
Oh Lord.
I mean, right?
I would not want to play New Game Plus on Birth by Sleep. Just for those like hidden bosses, I couldn't do it. Fighting them on like regular or hard is already terrifying. I can't imagine being in New Game Plus and fighting bosses that are on quite a few top 10 hard boss lists.
Well, most New Game Pluses don't do what Dark Souls games do. Normally, it's the same thing. You're just starting off as your end game character.
Oh, so like enemies don't get stronger?
And most New Game Plus is correct. Yeah. So it's just like you're just a super strong character and you're unstoppable.
Oh, that's not that fun.
It can be. Like Chrono Trigger, it's really interesting because Chrono Trigger works really well because the whole time you have Lavos looming over, the final boss looming over you, and you can, at some point in the game, fight him at any point. He will own you until you're strong enough, but yeah, you can beat him early, you can get stronger later in the game. There's a character that only gets their ultimate weapon, I think once they reach level 90. I think Ayla gets her Iron Fist, and then if she hits a critical hit, it does 9999, which on a game that the max health is 999, that's pretty impressive.
What?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, you only have triple digit health maximum and double digit MP.
So you can just Oko the boss.
Well, your characters. But if you do that 9999 on pretty much any boss, that would either one shot or two shot. And but again, we were talking earlier about once you're done with the game, you move on.
Right.
That's just one of those goals to shoot for, and it makes things interesting instead of just going around and grinding. No, just play through the game again.
Well, you can do the same. In Dark Souls, you really don't have to grind. You can go through the entire game. People have done it. It's truly a masochist
without
game.
Killing anything except the bosses?
Yeah. People have done it before. It's insane, but you can do that.
Well, if someone can beat the hardest boss in a Dark Souls game with their feet, yeah, I think that would be easy.
No.
Not leveling up your character at all, just bloop.
No. You have no armor or any resistances. It's just, I have this club against your god tier weapons and armor. Let's go.
Yeah. But it's strange that Assassin's Creed is just now doing this, and Xenoblade Chronicles that are right this time.
Will it be just updates?
Yeah, they'll come in game updates.
Okay.
So.
At least they're doing it.
At least they're doing it, yeah. It's just one of those strange game designs, and I'm just like, pretty much every video game can benefit from having this mode. And it doesn't cost you anything to program it in.